Here's who filled his head with absolutely ridiculous nonsense. Cliches, myths about Russia, it no longer matters. At this point, the only thing that matters is that Mr. Witkov is extremely influential and considered very, very smart in Washington. He is guided not by reality, but by a set of wild, naive, deceitful, and absurd fantasies. In particular, well, he has a lot of amusing nonsense, but specifically, Witkov is convinced that Putin is smart because the smartest people in the country went to the KGB. But I must explain to you that smart KGB agents are a stereotype and a myth. It was created through the efforts of professional good screenwriters and good actors. But in reality, it's a myth. The craft of the Chekists is extremely primitive. It requires no intellectual abilities. It is as primitive as they are themselves. Their duty, if you strip away all the verbal husk, is to kill, imprison intellectuals, eradicate any thought, and thereby hinder any development of the country. Tortures, arrests, interrogations, wiretaps, searches, surveillance. None of this requires any intelligence. Moreover, all Chekists are cogs in the system, and by definition, cogs are not intelligent, and no intellectual is physiologically capable of being a cog and never will be. Moreover, we see that all Chekists, even those who have left the system, not one of them, has ever distinguished themselves in any science nor in any form of art. Well, this is the principle of a colony of microorganisms. And if we imagine that the KGB is a colony of microorganisms, then an individual zooid separated from it. Any colony consists of zooids. It is absolutely non-viable and represents nothing at all. And attempts to claim that Chekists are a different type of consciousness, that they are not stupid, that they think about the security and welfare of the state is pure nonsense. Because all the activities of the KGB have brought only misfortune, disgrace, and enormous irreparable damage. Imagine that hundreds and thousands of scientists, writers, doctors, choreographers, artists, engineers, inventors, among whom are many world-renowned names, were killed, imprisoned, tortured, or emigrated and cursed Russia solely because of the KGB and all its incarnations, and in any form from the Cheka, MGB, FSB, security, secret expeditions, the third department, all the deaths, all the emigrations. Chavkin, Struve, Gamov, Dobzhansky, Sikorsky, Zvorikin, Bakhmetev, Game, the Vavilov, Sikorsky, I mean the bridge engineer, Ipatchev, Rachmaninov, Tarkhanov, Herzen, Bunin, Dobrovsky, Zvorikin, Kuprin, Mechnikov, Sikorsky, Ehrenburg, Artsibashev, Galich, Shklovsky, Kuprin, Tsvetaeva. This is all the work of the KGB. All of it? Absolutely. Just imagine what a disaster, what damage this organization has caused even to its own state called Russia. And it did so deliberately. Remember the St. Petersburg School KGB generals Kurukov, Fonosarev, Shumilov, who taught that an intellectual who didn't soil himself during interrogation. It's a failure in work. A Chekist would receive a reprimand if an intellectual didn't soil himself during interrogation. Then it wasn't an interrogation, but a waste of time. And operatives were punished to the extent that their weekends and vacations were taken away. Clean pants of an intellectual dissident are a failure in work, and ruthlessness towards the enemies of the people must be absolute. These are the qualities that were instilled in the employees, including in Putin. And when combined with unlimited power and a fascination with conspiracy theories, which, let's say, easily captivate very weak and very unenlightened minds, well, they bore fruit in the form of people like Patrushev or Putin. While thinking that this is some kind of superpower, well, let me remind you that in 1991, a crowd of bearded, angry, slightly drunk young men dismantled the Soviet Empire with all its massive army, KGB, Ministry of Internal Affairs, and the Communist Party in less than a day. So the craft of the Chekists is to ruin lives and to destroy any thought and indeed everything that rises just a little above the gray mass of the populace. If you look for an organization whose activities have caused unfortunate Russia more harm, it won't be easy to find one, of course. There's the State Duma, I understand. The State Duma specifically proves that tying your life to Russia is foolishness and a crime, primarily against your own children, who will also be involuntarily drawn into this vicious, wild, and humiliating life. But the State Duma is not a random symptom. It's clear that if there is a place where individuals regularly demonstrate complete intellectual insignificance, like Volodin, Milonov, and all the others, with their narrow-mindedness and blatant savagery, it's clear that these people are living proof that the country is unfit for normal life. Even occasional appearances of such blatant paranoids. This is already a cause for enormous concern, but they are endowed with power and they impose a style and rules of existence on millions of people. Yes, and they have already imposed them.